I've been wanting to review this Mafex Pennywise for quite a few weeks now, as I think it's an extremely underrated figure, and honestly, I think it's one of Mafex's best. And I say underrated because I actually haven't seen many reviews of this on YouTube. I guess there's a couple, but there's not as many as I thought there would be. And I kinda take that as a bad sign, as a lot of people would, but the main reason I think I ain't seeing many reviews of this figure on YouTube is because...
oh my god.
Yeah, we'll get into that later. So, taking a look at the figure just standing there in a neutral pose, I think the proportions look great, and I think overall the figure looks great. A lot of people, the majority of people, say this looks too much like a toy, especially for the price tag. Mainly because the sculpt is kind of too soft and there isn't much paint, especially when compared to the $30 NECA offering, which honestly I don't totally agree with. Actually, I don't agree with at all. I think NECA's Pennywise, a fantastic figure, don't get me wrong, has too much sculpt, or at least too defined of a sculpt. In the movie, the costume doesn't have that much texture in it. And to me, it just kind of makes it look less like simulated clothing. Again, we'll save that talk for another video. Yes, the sculpt may seem soft on this Mafex Pennywise figure, but that doesn't mean the sculpt is bad or lacking. There are tons of wrinkles in the torso that you might miss from a distance. And the rest of the figure's clothing, again, all the wrinkles, the folds, the sculpt is not bad or lacking by any means. And then the paint, for the most part, is actually great. There are some little imperfections, mostly in the red parts, but the boots, for example, are painted cleanly. And the paint on the head sculpts are damn near perfect, especially when looking at the cracks in the paint on the forehead. It looks so good for this scale. They're not too prominent, but you can still see them like how it is in the movie. And the hair doesn't look that bad in person. It does not look that gold in person. And the darker orange paint they mixed in there helps show layers and give the hair even more definition. And I think it actually looks really good. Now, the big thing that surprised me, and might surprise you guys also, is the articulation. Now, the head can move up, down, tilt side to side, and swivel, but it is quite hindered by these pieces right here, the cuffs on the collar. Now, they are three separate pieces, which does help for movement a little bit, but not too much. It is what it is. I do like how they're sculpted, though, as it does look like his head is kind of pushing down on them, like kind of real fabric. Now, you do get butterfly joints that swing the arm out and give fantastic range, which I was very surprised by that. The peg in the shoulder does let the arm shift up and down a bit. The arm can go up about this much, down to his sides, up, back, and around. It does also swivel the whole arm at the top here. You get double jointed elbows, the wrist goes up, down, in and out, and it can swivel. And this is where the articulation gets pretty interesting. The torso can crunch forward a lot. Lean back a lot, rock side to side, and rotate 360 degrees. The way they designed this figure is actually quite incredible here. There are 3 layers in the skirt piece. The top here is one, and you get a front and back layer here, where the front overlaps the back to give a sort of seamless look. So then when you want to articulate the legs, it moves and separates from the back piece, but was done in a way to where it actually still doesn't give a strange gap between the materials on the sides, which is great, and it's just a soft plastic piece. So the legs can split. They do also drop down for more range. They can kick up, like I said, surprisingly well. Kick back. The legs can swivel. You get single jointed knees that still get very good range. You get a boot swivel. The foot goes up, down, rock side to side, and there is a toe hinge. Now for accessories, you do get what I feel is a good amount. You get 2 relaxed hands, 2 open grabbing hands, 2 fists, 2 paper boat holding hands to hold the included SS Georgie paper boat. You get 2 balloon holding hands to hold the also included red balloon. And finally, you get 2 alternate heads. Now real quick, the balloon holding hands are actually very smartly designed, I think. First, they are actually their own separate hands that have the cuff attached. So you just unplug these and plug the balloon ones in. And they do this because these hands have no articulation, and I think that's very smart. As when you put the balloon in the hand, it's never going to cause the hand to hinge down over time or just swivel to the side. Even though the balloon is a light piece, it would still happen. It happens on the NECA figure. And the other thing that is very smart is they made a transparent piece between the fingers with a hole to hold the balloon, which means the balloon won't get loose in the hands, and the hand still aesthetically looks good, especially when compared to NECA's solution to hold the balloon. And just so you know, again, which was a surprise to me, the balloon string also has bendy wire in it. Now, looking at the alternate heads, you do get the smirking head, the more serious, kind of stern-looking head, painted so well. The eyes on this head sculpt, again, looking up, so when you tilt his head down, he's still looking at you. And last, you get my favorite head sculpt, and this is modeled after the scene at the beginning of the movie where he bites Georgie's arm off at the sewer. And this head sculpt, to me, is fantastic. the wrinkles in the forehead, his eyes rolled to the side, and they sculpted it to where it looks like his jaws are actually pushing out of his mouth. And then you see the paint on the teeth. It's just so cleanly done. And this head sculpt is just fantastic to include with the two other more normal looking expression heads, as this one is a more demonic, alien looking expression and one of my favorites from the movie, honestly. Now, for size comparisons, here he is next to your average size 6-inch scale figure, a Marvel Legends Nightcrawler, and a Jazzwares Fortnite Leviathan. Now, he might seem a little bit too short, but if you do extend his legs, I think it gives him a much better height difference between these two lines. Here he is next to the Mafex Comics Spider-Man. Again, with the legs extended, he scales very well with other Mafex, I think. Next up here he is next to a Mezco Myers, Freddy, and Jason. Again, with the legs extended, I think all these go pretty perfect together. I'm still waiting for Mezco to release their Pennywise, as the style will obviously go better with other Mezcos, but until then, I'm super happy with this. And here he is next to the NECA Pennywise Walmart re-release with better paint apps. And NECA's Pennywises are fantastic figures. Honestly, some of their best Ultimate figures. And they're an incredible bang for your buck. But this Mafex figure is definitely a far superior figure in every way compared to the NECA one, which that full comparison will be for another video. But NECA's face sculpt and likeness on this head, at least, is far superior to Mafex's. Paint-wise, not at all, but the likeness, that's Bill Skarsgård without a doubt. It's actually kind of scary how good that likeness is. But yeah, this Mafex figure has great sculpt, great paint, great articulation, and great accessories. I definitely think this is one of Mafex's best figures yet. I have no big QC issues, none of the joints are loose. The figure is very fun to pose and mess around with. The figure itself looks great. It's just a big thing for a lot of people is the price, and damn, that's a lot. And yes, I know, I hear the argument all the time. I could buy 3 to 4 different NECA Pennywise figures, all with new and unique head sculpts, for the price of this one Mafex Pennywise figure. And I do completely agree with that. But for me, I prefer quality over quantity. NECA's figures are fantastic for the price. I have them. They're great. I'm going to keep them. But the Mafex one is just, it's better. This Mafex figure just has better articulation, better paint. The plastic quality is far superior, and it's just so much more of a joy to pose around and mess around with. And with that, you can just get so much more expression and just more dynamic looks and poses with the Mafex Pennywise. Is this figure overpriced? Yes and no. I mean, a lot of Mafex's figures are creeping up even more to the $100 mark, with ones like the Spider-Verse Spider-Man being the same price as this Pennywise. And this figure offers just as much as each one of those figures. Yes, a few more alternate heads would have been fantastic, but the ones we did get with this are fantastic head sculpts. And like I said, I feel like this is honestly one of Mafex's best offerings to date. I have very little QC issues, and it's a very well designed figure. And again, extremely underrated in my opinion. If you couldn't tell already, I highly recommend this Pennywise figure. Once you have the NECA one and this one in hand side by side, and you mess around with both, you'll really start to see the big differences between both. I know the sculpt might seem soft on this figure and the paint might seem lacking on this figure, but once you get it in hand, I don't really think that's the case. I just think maybe some of the promotional pictures kinda didn't really give the figure a good look, especially in the articulation department. Again, the articulation on this figure really surprised me. If you are interested in purchasing this Pennywise figure, as always, I will be leaving multiple links down in the description below, along with a link to my Instagram, where I'll be posting more pictures of this Pennywise and other figures I review on this channel. And while you're down there, if you did enjoy this video, give it a like. And if you feel like supporting me and supporting better content for the future of this channel, hit that big red subscribe button down below and hit that bell icon next to it to get notified when new videos on this channel go live. My New Year's resolution is to work as hard as I possibly can on this channel and hit 100,000 subs by the end of this year. So expect tons of content. There are tons of new figures and games, as I will be playing games on this channel, coming out very soon. The Mafex Wolverine, my review of it, will be coming out very soon. And the NECA Ultimate Hellraiser comes out very soon. I am definitely going to be reviewing that. I think it comes out by the end of this month. I am trying to get a hold of the 2 waves of Marvel Legends that just hit or are hitting now. There's just tons of stuff I want to review, both new and old. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day as always. I hope you guys are having a fantastic start to your new year. Take care, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.